We've been fighting a long time, and we have all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. But you are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We are at the brink. You have no idea how important you are. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Ave Maria Stella Dei Mater Alma Atque semper Virgo Felix te porta.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Steve with Sense Medallion. I had some friends call me and text me up. I've been getting texts ever since the election about what's my 2 cents. Everyone's got an opinion. So, what is mine? If you watched News from the Pew the other day, I went off. I did my own opinion in a little sense with Rick. And so go ahead and go to News from the Pew. I'll put it in the show notes underneath, link it. Check it out. We go on for 30, 40 minutes on things, but I didn't bring up everything. So I'll just go ahead and just give you because I talked to Rick before the show about it. And I mean, really, you saw everyone. They were all talking about who's going to be their pick, who they want, who they thought was going to be. I was going to make some videos and just not to mock everything, but to have some fun with it, because I'm not getting in that. I wasn't going to get into picking. Everyone had their man, Carl Sarah, Burke, you name it. They had somebody was coming out with, I hope is this, I hope is this. And I did not have any, David, people were asked, who would you like? I don't know. My wife would ask, who do you think it'd be? I don't know. Tell you when to come out, through that curtain. I didn't want it to make it about me. What did I want? Who did I want? Because you think about, the whole idea of, this goes into what I was planning on doing. You have a plan. God kind of laughs at that plan. The divine physician knows what you need. It's the whole idea. Man, I wish God would let me win the lottery. I would give all this money to the poor. I would give this money to the seminaries, the local churches. God probably knows what you're going to do with that money. That's why you ain't winning the lottery. The divine physician knows what you need better than what you think you need. You go to a doc, you try to out-doc the doc. I need this, I need that. The doc tells you what you need. You kind of poo-poo on him. And you tell him, no, this is what I want. This is what I need. And I guess sometimes you're like that. I mean, I've gone that way. I make my own medicine anymore. So I understand that. But on something that you cannot control, I mean, I was going to make... You saw the draft video, the Protestant comedian. I was going to do something like that, and people were texting me up. Goes, man, they beat you to the punch. They did a way better job with it because guy has a lot more money than I have to be able to pull off something like that, and talent to pull off something like that. I couldn't do that if you put a gun in my head. So, but I found an AI of Mel Kiper Jr. If you don't know who Mel Kiper Jr. is, during the NFL draft, he's the guy that they go on. He's the guru. He was like, hey, Mel, who's going to be the top 5 picks? Who's going to be the top pick? Who's the top pick? And he just goes on this thing. He's 6'5" out of Gonzaga. He's the 5-tool star, 5 years, rocket arm, laser, fast as lightning. And usually he's wrong. When Cam Newton was drafted first #1 by the Carolina Panthers, he was predicting that Cam wasn't going to be top 5. And Cam went #1. And then MVP 2015, Super Bowl, all that stuff. The only thing he ever got right, I think, the only thing he said right, I remember, was saying that when Luke Kuechly got drafted by the Panthers, he goes, Carolina finally got a middle linebacker. Everyone thought he was just full of it. No, he was 100% right on that. He got one right. Most of the time, if you look up any videos on him, he gets it absolutely wrong. It's just like in the beginning of the year when someone predicts who's going to win the Super Bowl. 99 times out of 100, they don't get the right team. Baseball, whoever, basketball, they don't get it right. The predictions, So I was going to have some fun with it. Have some, who's the hell, Mel? Hey, Mel, who do you think is going to be who's our candidate? Who's our draft picks for this year? And so I didn't get around to it. One reason I was busy. Yeah, because I'm putting the app, which you don't have the Census Fidelium app, by the way. It's censusfidelium.tv. It's got 25,000 minutes of videos on there, over 800 videos. Sorry, back to live action. So I was going to do on day 2, I thought I had some time. What was it, Thursday? I had to go do some errands, went to the store, get some, because the kid needed some, my youngest needed some, there was a little, what do you call them? Fruit pouches. Anyways, so I get back and I start, because I'm driving and my mind's always going. Some people usually, when I was in medical sales as an assistant, people knew I was drinking. I was on the road and I was drinking an energy drink because I was shooting ideas during the. I'd bounce ideas off them in texts or calls when I was on the road. It was my time to think. Was in the car, so I would go. All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a day 2 version. Hey Mel, who was snubbed? Who was snubbed today? Who did you think? Because Shador Sanders in Colorado went like the 5th round or something, so he was losing his mind during the draft, and sugar, I can't believe he's not going already. So I was going to do something like that, and even better, I thought, was
in the conclave.
Here's the live one from the Vatican. Was back. I was going to do something on the Pigeons. Yeah, I was going. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm going to do an interview with the Pigeons. Say, Mr. Pigeon, because that was everyone's talk. Apparently, the Pigeons even have a Twitter account. I don't know if you knew that. They were big popular during Benedict's election. When Benedict got elected, I was working at the Hampton Hill Athletic Club gym in Columbia, South Carolina, and I saw it. It was on TV, and I had no clue what was going on. I just saw that this guy named Benedict came out, dressed cool. I had no idea. People were asking me questions, and I was the absolute idiot of Catholicism at that time. Couldn't tell you anything. And so I've seen I've seen Benedict and Francis come out. This is my 3rd conclave, and I never noticed the Pigeons. I don't even remember what I was doing during Francis's election. Was I was working in the room, but I had the TV on in the background behind me so I could hear it. I don't think I should have had like a mirror so I could watch. So I didn't hear anything until people got excited. Or I didn't know what was going on until people got excited. I turned around and saw the white smoke. So literally, I get back to the house, sit down where I'm at right now, and about to try to come up with some kind of impromptu script interview with with the seagulls. I think I called him a penguin again. I told Rick, I'm going to do the interview with the penguins. I got bird for brains right now for some reason. I keep calling penguins, the pigeons, the seagulls. So I was going to do some dumb interview with them. And then all of a sudden, Rick texts me up, hey, white smoke. And I'm going, where? Really? Already? Holy cow. And I'm trying to type up, I'm trying to find anywhere online this is going on. And I couldn't find it. EWTN wasn't live. I guess they were getting lunch or something. I don't know. And then he told me Vatican Live. So check Vatican Live. So I get on the Vatican Live site, and then this is going on. So real cool. And I walk out of my office, which is just a room, into the living room, and I tried turning on and going, where can I go to get this? So I tried turning on YouTube, and it was a terrible feed. And so I found the live channel on the Roku app. And so my wife goes, oh, it was white smoke. Oh, wow. Who do you think it's going to be? I don't know. I'll tell you when it comes out of the curtain. And she kind of got a little mad about that because she thought I was kind of being like, smart alecky. And to be honest, again, that goes back to what I was saying. I was trying to be so detached from this process because, like the other ones, I didn't know who. I think through Francis, I think I had like a favorite. Like I was thinking, oh yeah, Burke. I think it was. I can't remember. It was 12 years ago, but And when Francis was elected, I had a bunch of phone calls from people calling, hey, it's all Protestants. Who's this guy? I don't know. You got me by the tail. And so I try to keep that same mind. I stayed away from online. Who's going to be it? Who's going to be it? Who's going to be it? People doing videos. Who's going to be it? People doing Cardinals. Who's every Cardinal speaking like? I'm going, man, you guys got so much time. I'm going through. I'm not going to watch any of these videos on who's the Cardinal. Like the hour long takes or 20-minute takes on the Cardinals. Good grief, you guys did some information digging. I just didn't have that one. I got other things going on. I'm doing this, downloading for the app, kids playing, family, all that stuff. I'm going, there ain't no, it's not. Why do I have to care about which every Cardinal is? It's not like I'm going in over here and getting my 2 cents in the Sistine Chapel, saying, "Oh, we need that Cardinal." And those Cardinals ain't watching any of this. They already know these guys, or they don't know it, but they're going to talk to each other. But they're not going to go on YouTube and say, "Hey, let me see if so and so can tell me who this fellow Cardinal is." So guys were just doing it. It was just content. Perfect. It was like the perfect storm for content, which we knew that was coming. Anybody with 2 working brain cells saw that was coming. Didn't watch anything. I knew if someone comes up to me and goes, name 10 Cardinals, I would have told it. When they pointed a gun in my head, I would have told them to shoot me because I would have no clue. I couldn't get 10 Cardinals if you saved my life. I knew Turkson because of the World Economic Forum, and I knew of Shoopage, obviously, O'Malley, Dolan, Burke, Sarah, even the favorite. I didn't even know his name. Was it Parleon? I still don't know. I think I'm mispronouncing it now. Still don't care. And he was supposed to be the top pick in the draft. No idea. I mean, I was joking with Rick saying, I wonder if they're Vegas odds. There were Vegas odds. Shocking. Never the top 10 is someone elected in the Vegas odds. I don't know if you ever noticed that. I mean, Leo the 14th, I was like, he was even in the top 30 in the Vegas odds. I looked it up. So this goes on. Cool. Great. Like, let's go live. And I was texting friends of mine up. Hey, why don't we go live with this? Let me see who wants to do this. I couldn't get anybody. Finally, my bud Jonathan gets on. It's like, yeah, man, I'll do it. Great. And I'm going, perfect. You're the perfect guy. You know Italian, you know Latin, you know French. He knows every language almost. He's been there when it's been there. He just goes to the Roman Forum. He's in friends with all those guys. He used to work for the L'Osservatore Romano, all this. So I thought, perfect. We had a great time, 30 minutes. You can hear his kids laughing in the background. They're excited. I'm excited. I mean, it's going on for a while. Like, when they going to come out? It's like 30 minutes. My wife's going to go across to our neighbor's house to go hang out. Our neighbor's husband had to go help their daughter, and ACL tear. So he's gone for 2 weeks. So she went over there to spend time with her. Found out she's a follow-away Catholic, and she's been researching us. It's kind of funny. And she found out, Mom Megan said that she was researching us, and what kind of Catholics we were. They thought that she had a bet with her husband, thought that we were pre-Vatican II Catholics, and he didn't. He thought we were just regular. And so she asked her, they were having wine, and he goes, "Oh, you're pre-62, right?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she calls her husband up, "Told you," hung up on him. And she was floored that we would drive 30, 40 minutes just to go to Mass or Divine Liturgy, whichever we went to that for the Sunday. And they talked for hours, apparently. And then he comes over. But anyway, she's tickled pink about everything that's going on. My wife says she would guarantee, she goes, I think she would be a regular Mass goer if it wasn't, her husband wasn't not practicing nothing. And I kind of agree. I mean, almost, maybe we'll invite her tomorrow to Mass. I don't know. That's probably a good idea. I might tell her to send a text. Hey, she wants to join us. I'll tell her to come. And anyways, so the detachment thing of this. So one of the things I was watching before all this happened, I think it's the same day, was, and I'll stop this video, is Jocko. And everyone knows I'm a big Jocko fan, probably. If you don't know, I am. So maybe it was Wednesday. I listened to this Wednesday, and he's reading from the book of Band of Brothers. So I'll just go ahead and play him reading this.
Back to the book. Before you go on, I know you think I'm too hard on Lieutenant Compton for walking off the line at Bastogne. Let me explain myself. Buck, that's Lieutenant Compton, was nicknamed Buck, and he walked off the line. Buck was a great combat leader. He was a superb platoon leader in Normandy and Holland. In fact, I would say he was one of the best. At Bastogne, he broke after some of his friends were seriously wounded in the constant artillery barrages. There is a danger of getting too close to the men, and Buck crossed that line. When you see your friends getting maimed, it makes it more difficult to go on. That's why I always maintained a certain detachment from the paratroopers in Easy Company. Am I too harsh on Buck? Maybe, but a leader needs to rise above fear. The easiest thing to do is quit. Now he starts talking a little bit about combat fatigue.
Before we get into the combat fatigue part, so the detachment part of it, okay? He talks a lot about detachment. You ever read his books on extreme ownership and leadership? He talks about detachment, stepping away from where you're at, where you're in. Like if there's a combat situation going on, he takes a couple steps back to observe the situation, get more of a view of what's going on before making any decisions. So he's not in the emotion of right there, being in the thick of things and going off emotion right off the bat. Stepping back and taking a breath, figuring it out before your next move. Or, as he said, in this situation, the guy that was writing the book got a little too close to the situation, made bad decisions, and the soldiers suffered out of it. Which goes into what it wasn't. It popped in my head. That's just like kind of what we were trying to do with the Cardinals here. Detaching from the situation to the point that you had zero care, almost not no care, but like it wasn't going to affect you either way, whatever happens. Because I had some texts when that thing went, when the good Cardinal got elected. I had a friend of mine text me up. Would you say the same thing if Shoepage or what's his face out of in DC, if they would have been elected? I told him, well, first off, what if land isn't what we want to live in? You know, that whole ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Stop getting what if land. What if this? It's kind of like the whole Trump thing. Oh, what are you like, Kamala? Well, and I've been on record. Kamala was just a figurehead. She was never getting in. It was DJTs to get in. Hence why all this stuff's going down right now. Keep the opposition silent while the stuff continues to roll. And anyways, going back to this. So it's detached from this whole thing. Whoever comes out of that, out of the curtain, I'll be cool with. I don't have I'm not already, hey, I'm on Team Sarah, I'm on Team Burke, I'm on Team this. No, I'm for whoever comes out of that. That's it. I don't have an opinion. Those guys did their job in there probably. If they didn't, oh well, we got something else going on. It should not make me upset or anything with whoever comes out. And even when they're reading it, my man Aaron says, "Oh, we met him, we know him." And I was like, "You know the guy?" We were talking about it, and immediately we were in the live, like I said, live chat. You can see the chat. People were on suicide watch right off the bat. Well, guys, the guy's been elected 34 minutes, and we're already talking about ending it all. Not just it's over. We got another liberal. We got this. Michael Mann has a great video out on Remnant talking about how during Benedict's election, that people were saying the same thing. This is the worst this is the worst guy you could ever elect. He's a terrible. He's a liberal. He's this. He's a martyr. He did this in Vatican II. And then what happened when he retired? Those same haters were like, "Why are you leaving?" It's the guy's just. I mean, the wrinkles in his cassock are still wrinkled. Give it a little break. Which another priest did a sermon on today, and he talked about, wow, you guys that are trashing the Pope right off the bat, did you do this for your team sport politics? And I immediately, I was talking to his brother. I go, yeah, man, a lot of those guys who are over there losing their minds right now, they haven't said much about their boy DJT, ethnic cleansing, entire state of Gaza, technocracy, JD Vance being owned by Peter Thiel, and the technocracy coming out of that. the habeas corpus being suspended again, the no due process. Oh yeah, all of a sudden you guys are okay with just anybody being arrested for anything and just being thrown in jail for anything, no matter if you did it or not. What else? Death scene going up, illegal bombings every day almost. I thought we were the peace president. We're bombing everyone left and right, unconstitutionally, illegally, unjustly. The massive takeover by the centralized government, the North American Union thing, thinking about taking over Greenland, literally he's talking about maybe throwing in military action out of it, so on and so on. No, none of those guys said a word about that. Heck, some of those guys go to Mar-a-Lago because they know if they say anything, they're not getting invited back. So they're scared to say anything about DJT, but have no problem after 35 minutes to an hour going after the new pope, who hasn't done it. He hasn't even gone to the bathroom yet, probably. Maybe he has. I'm not just sorry to be crude, but it's like the guy just got elected, gets fitted for the new for the white cassock, gets the shoes, puts on the bed, climbs the stairs, probably shivers in his boots for a little bit, and then finally gets out there, and you've already condemned him to the fifth realm of hell. But your boy, who's over in D.C. right now, who you wish to hope that he'll retreat, please retreat me, Donald. Please send me to Mar-a-Lago. You ain't got the stones to say anything about that. He's killing how many kids right now? We lost count. Father of the jab, all that stuff. No, it's that meme with the one guy shielding his face and then pointing at you like, oh yeah, I like that one. The inconsistency is just out the charts. All right, let me get back to Jocko. Sorry about that.
Civilian life, of course, we refer to combat fatigue as a mental breakdown. That is exactly the way it is in combat. It's a mental breakdown. The intensity, it becomes a problem for me to express my feelings here, but I'd like to share it with you. The intensity of a fire or a heavy concentration, to be a leader, you have to be able to concentrate on that fire and move just as soon as it stops or the last rounds hit. Move. Get up. Start circulating among your men. Is everybody okay? Let's get up. Let's move. Keep your eye open for an attack. Get their attention. Move among your men as quickly as possible. And moving among them, the fact that they see you and they're talking to you, they know that you are there and you are talking to them, and it makes all the difference in the world to know that you are not in this thing by yourself. That's what officers must do. Break the cycle of fear. If a soldier is concentrating on his own feelings and on his own fear, and he sees you moving around, he realizes that you're sharing the burden with him. That's why he can then move. So that's very important. And that's,
He gets into it afterwards, saying that, you can do that in all kinds of life. And he's 100% right. I mean, what happened? Fear took over. Anxiety took over. Worry took over. And it's, again, I had a lot of guys give me an excuse. By the way, excuses are lies. Of this is 12 years of being of abuse from the Francis papacy. And I was like, all right, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. It was, everything that went down, understood. Where Francis is dead, what are you? If you're listening to this, obviously you're not dead. You're still kicking. So again, it goes back to that whole, how are you in adversity? Goes back to, kind of like, did you play ball? Did you get in the military? Anything like that? How were you when it did not go right? Did you go cry in a corner or what? Or did you figure out, hey, there's a speed bump here. How do I overtake this obstacle? Sales, same way. You get told no. How do you overcome that rejection right there? So 12 years of Francis. Okay. You made it through. You're on the other side. Again, Francis is dead. New time. Looks like at least right off the bat, the images off the bat, he's embracing traditional garb, saying prayers that they haven't done since the 1930s. There's comments that aren't too bad on the liturgy. He's got one from 2012 on evangelization and Augustine that Catholic News Media just put out a couple hours ago. And this first sermon was pretty solid. And yet, we were losing our heads over that. Sure, if Shupich came out, I'm not saying run for the hills. I would understand, like, oh man, this is gonna get worse. I get that attitude, but again, grass isn't dead. Leave that back. Remember those days, I guess. Don't let it affect you again. But is that thing from the Matrix at the end? We are still here. Remember that when Morpheus is and they're in there and all the people are cheering. We're still here. We are still here. He's dead. It's over. Over, as they would say in Boston. It's over. That part is sure. There's still some remnants left. It's going to take some time to get rid of everything that went down at that time. And guess what? It's going to happen. And someone told me, "Hey, we got a boomer pope." That was kind of going to happen one of these days. I mean, the age and all that, you'll eventually get that. Eventually, you'll get a millennial pope. Imagine that, or a Gen Z pope. Obviously, it won't be next 10 years, but it'll happen one of these days. So don't let the last 12 affect you right now. It's kind of like PTSD in a sense. I get it. There's help. Just like you would ask a soldier that has PTSD to get some help about it. There's help. Don't click record and start emoting about how bad everything is going to be and make your predictions off 40 minutes or for an hour. We got guys making up all kinds of theories right now about what's going on. No, pump the brakes, relax. Could it be the worst thing in the world? Yes, it could. Could it be really good? Yes, it could. I'm recording this on 1 o'clock in the morning on the 11th of May. He's been Pope for just over 60 hours, and we've had people just off the charts losing it. Calm down. I mentioned this to Rick when we were in there. If you thought, I'll just play this. This is the secular version of what I'm going to say.
They were beaten at the buzzer on their home floor on a three-pointer by Toronto's Vince Carter. The Celtics are 12 games under 500 this season, 4.5 games out of the final playoff spot in the East.
Not this part.
After that loss, Coach Rick Pitino had a passionate response when asked by a reporter how he would keep his players positive.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door. And Robin Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
So the reason why I mentioned that is, who'd you expect to come out that day? Did you expect Gregory the Great to come out? Did you expect Leo the Great to come out? Did you expect just pick your name? Did you expect Pius the 10th reincarnate to walk out of the curtain and come through the curtain? Anybody that would have came out of the curtain probably would disappoint you somehow. I like Cardinal Sarah. No beef on him. He comes out the first week and says Medjugorje is authentic. You're going to have some people upset, right? If Burke was elected and doesn't get rid of TC in 72 hours, people might be upset. I mean, would that be? I'm not saying that'd be a terrible pick. I don't know who would be a good pick. I'm not in management. The whole line from one priest says, one in Rudy, I've learned two things in my life. I am not God. There is a God, and I am not him. Jesus Christ is still in charge of his church. He told the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Trust that he's good at management. He's been doing it for a while, done it for a long time. He knows how to keep this thing going. Knows how to keep it well on top of things. We've had some terrible men running at the papacy before, and we're still around. We are still here. Again, hope. Also, hope. People used to have hope, and all of a sudden, when this went down, people left hope. We're like, we're done. We're out. So it goes back. Like I said, if whoever came out of that thing, you would have found some kind of problem, or they would have disappointed you somehow in the next month. You wouldn't have been happy. I don't know. You think, hey, I know. Don't have the idea of telling God you know how to run His church better than He does. Just have the humility that says, hey, God's will be done. Whoever comes out of that closet, God's will be done. Blessed be God. Relax. Pray, hope, don't worry. That's just a bumper sticker to most people. We like saying it. We don't actually like doing it. We'll tell people. I'm playing people to say, hey, pray, hope, don't worry. And then 5 minutes later, they're worried about something else. Trust me, I know. I've seen it in action. You have too, I guarantee it. Pray, hope, don't worry. Maybe something good comes out. Maybe this just slows down a lot. He took the name Leo the 14th, and he took it because of he said the AI thing. I'm big into I've been learning about the fourth industrial revolution for a while. If you've been following me for quite some time on the news stuff, I've been read all the books on the 4IR, Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, all that stuff. Turkson's a big influence, big thing over in Davos. Francis was all for that thing too. So hopefully, maybe he's all about not about that. That'd be really good because that stuff is coming in fast and furious. So hey, that's a plus. If he's looking to fight that, combat that, I'm right behind him on that too. We'll see how he does on a liturgy. We'll see. Again, not even 3 days? Not even 3 days yet? He got elected Thursday? Today was Friday, Saturday? Yeah, 2 full days. Saturday, half of Friday, all of Saturday, all of Friday, all of Saturday, and a little bit on Thursday. That's what we got right now. We got more people just wanting to run for the hills than anything. Calm down. Pump the brakes. Say some Hail Marys for them. Say them for you. Say them for your friends. Say it for me, please. Say it for all the guys online. Calm down. Pump the brakes. Who knows what this is. Now, if it's terrible in a couple of years, I'll give you my address. You can come up and punch me in the arm or something. And I'll say, hey, I'll eat crow on air or whatever. But for right now, have some joy. Smile. It's a fun time right now. You had Pat McAfee of ESPN. Let's see if I can pull that video up right now. They had an absolute blast. I got rid of it. Let me see. Pat McAfee show. Dude, I had that up. I just saw it just a second ago. There it is right there, and I missed it. There it is. Oh, what to do? Pope. Let's go. Pat McAfee Pope. Forgive me for being an idiot, and I should have had this stuff. So, the Pat
We have some
McAfee
breaking
stuff.
news. Ladies and gentlemen of the Catholic faith,
No way.
there is a new pope that has been selected.
What?
White smoke has come out of the top of the smokestack.
They went on for 10 minutes. ESPN talking about it. He was even saying there's somebody, I guess one of the guys is Catholic. He was teaching him how to say Nomine Patris Filii Spiritus Sancti, and he was doing it for 5 times. And then they found out it's a guy from Chicago, and they were going berserk. But I won't play because he does cuss. Let's see when he come on.
Gentlemen, we have the answer.
Wow.
We have the answer.
Let's go.
They go on for the next couple. They're excited about it. The secular guys are just thrilled about what's going on. He knows nothing about the church. It's not like it's just... And our boys are in the pit. Anyways, again, enough of being upset. Have some joy. Have some joy, doggone it. I was going to say something stupid on that. But anyway, smile. Have some fun. Enjoy life. Pray, hope, don't worry. And that's, again, live it. Don't just say it. I'm going to go to bed now. God love you. Have a great rest of the day. You'll see me. There'll be plenty of sermons come out today, tomorrow. There's about averaging about 4 or 5 a day. Sorry. I know the algorithms don't like it. That's why we don't get many views. But anyways, so pray for His Holiness. I'll forward it so they come out so you can see it one more time out on the. Look at he's having a blast. I watched it earlier. Going, he's right there. He's going. Look at him. They're climbing up the statues. He thinks it's a hysterically great time. So, anyways, have some fun with it. Don't get into Debbie Downer mode. Don't get into the woe is us mode. don't get into the negativity mode. Negativity will just drag you down, and it's not good for you. If something goes down that's negative, then we'll talk to that. But until then, have some fun. God love you. Take care. Say Hail Mary for me. I'll be eternally grateful.
There he is! There he is, Dredge! That's the American Pope, first time ever. Shout out to Pope Prevost. Pope Prevost.
Did I read something he's going to go by Leo?
Yeah, Pope Leo.
Pope Leo? Great name.
Lion.
He's seen Titanic. He understands the Leo name. It's beautiful. Okay, shout out to Pope Leo from America. First time in 266 posts. This moment's getting to him. How could it not? Guy has emotions. Guy wears his heart on his
his papal robe.
On his papal robe.
Ave